Christmas began as a party so wild that serious people tried to delete it from existence. Before Santa, before gifts, before who ate the last cookie, there was the ancient Roman festival Saturnalia. And Saturnalia was basically Rome saying, rules? Nah. Social order flipped. Slaves mocked masters. People gambled openly. Everyone ate too much, drank too much, and screamed joy like it was a lifestyle choice. Think Vegas energy, but in togas. Now here's the twist. Jesus was not born on December 25th. Nobody actually knows the exact date. Early Christians were getting side-eyed hard by Rome, so they pulled a strategic move. Instead of killing the party, they rebranded it. Saturnalia energy plus Christian meaning equals survival mode activated. December 25th slid into place not because of divine confirmation, but because it was smart marketing. Ancient PR. If you can't stop the party, hijack the calendar. Fast forward a bit. Christianity spreads, empires fall. Europe goes medieval. And Christmas? It turns into a weird mashup. Church by day, absolute madness by night. Villages picked a Lord of Misrule, a random guy whose whole job was to make chaos official. Feasts, pranks, street singing that sounded more like drunk yelling. Not exactly Silent Night. Now here comes the part nobody tells you. When Christianity reached England and later America, some people were like, "This holiday is unhinged. Enter the Puritans." These guys looked at Christmas and said, "Yeah, absolutely not." In the 1600s, Christmas was literally illegal in parts of England and colonial America. No decorations, no feasting, no joy. You worked on December 25th like it was a Tuesday. If you celebrated, you got fined. Imagine getting a ticket for vibes. Boston banned Christmas from 1659 to 1681. That's right. The same city now famous for festive lights once said, "Keep that holiday energy out of here." Why? Because Christmas wasn't holy to them. It was loud, drunk, pagan-coded. They thought it distracted people from God and encouraged sin. In their eyes, Christmas wasn't sacred. It was sus. So for a while, Christmas went underground. People still celebrated just quietly. Traditions survived in whispers, not sermons. And here's the rehook before we dip. If Christmas was banned, wild, stolen, rebranded, and almost erased, how did it come back stronger than ever? Because the version you know, the cozy, gift-giving, Santa-driven Christmas, wasn't born in a church. It was engineered. And in the next part, we meet the writers, rebels, and businessmen who resurrected Christmas and accidentally turned it into the biggest emotional industry in human history. Yeah, this story's just getting started. The comeback nobody saw coming. All right, so Christmas is down bad. Banned in places. Dragged by religious hardliners. Basically ghosted by society. If holidays had stock prices, Christmas was trading at rock bottom. Then, plot twist, it gets resurrected not by priests, but by writers and regular people who miss the vibes. Let's jump to the early 1800s. America is growing fast. Cities are messy. Work is brutal, and people are tired, like spiritually tired. Families barely see each other. Kids are working jobs. Life feels cold. And suddenly folks start craving something softer, something warm, something that says, "Yo, slow down." Enter Washington Irving. This man drops stories about an old-school English Christmas filled with fires, food, kindness, and family. Was it historically accurate? Not really. But did it hit emotionally? Oh, absolutely. He basically said, what if Christmas was wholesome instead of chaotic? And people were like, say less. Then boom, Charles Dickens enters the chat. In 1843, Dickens publishes A Christmas Carol. And listen, this book didn't just tell a story, it reprogrammed Christmas. Before Dickens, Christmas wasn't about kindness to the poor or family unity. After Dickens, that became the whole brand. Scrooge wasn't just a character, he was a warning. Be greedy, cold, selfish, you're the villain. Show generosity, compassion, warmth, you're winning at life. Here's the twist. Dickens wasn't writing theology. He was writing social criticism. He used Christmas as a moral weapon. And it worked. Hard. People didn't just read the book. They felt it. Businesses started closing on Christmas Day. Employers gave bonuses. Charity events popped off. The holiday shifted from chaos to compassion. Christmas was back, but upgraded. Now let's talk visuals. Before this era, Christmas didn't even look like Christmas. No standardized tree, no matching decorations, no cozy aesthetic. That all came later, inspired by Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, who popularized the Christmas tree in England. A picture of the royal family around a decorated tree went viral, 1800s style. America saw it and said, yeah, we're copying that. Trees, ornaments, lights, Christmas became aesthetic. Pinterest before Pinterest. But here's the spicy part. While Christmas was becoming about kids, family, and love, something else was creeping in quietly. Money. Stores realized something wild. When people feel emotional, they spend. A lot. Gift giving went from optional to expected. Ads started pushing the idea that love equals presents. If you didn't buy something, were you even trying? Christmas wasn't just a holiday anymore. It was a season, an economic event. And right when Christmas was peaking emotionally and financially, a mysterious red-suited figure was about to slide in and steal the entire spotlight. Santa wasn't always that dude. All right, buckle up, because this is where Christmas takes a hard left and turns into a full-blown marketing masterpiece. You think Santa Claus has always been this jolly, cookie-loving, ho-ho-ho grandpa in a red fit? Nah, not even close. That version? That's the final form. The early drafts were kinda unhinged. Let's rewind. The OG Santa was St. Nicholas, a real guy from the 4th century. Bishop, wealthy, known for sneaking out at night and dropping coins into poor people's houses. No sleigh, no elves, no vibes, just a quiet legend doing charity on stealth mode. Respectable, serious, almost boring. Now here's the twist. As this story travels across Europe, different cultures remix him. In the Netherlands, St. Nicholas becomes Sinterklaas, still generous, but now rolling in on a horse, wearing church robes, judging kids. Naughty or nice? Yeah, that scoreboard starts here. Then Dutch settlers bring Sinterklaas to America. And America does what America always does. It rebrands. By the early 1800s, New York writers are like, this St. Nicholas guy, kinda stiff. Let's loosen him up. So they shrink him, literally. He becomes a little elf dude sliding down chimneys. Still weird, still not Santa as you know him. Then, boom, 1823 hits. A Visit from St. Nicholas. You know it as 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. This poem is a straight-up game changer. It gives Santa reindeer, names them, gives him a sleigh, turns him into a joyful, round, laughing figure. Suddenly, Santa isn't a bishop or a moral enforcer. He's fun. He's magical. He's family-friendly. But wait, the fit still isn't locked in. Throughout the 1800s, Santa looks different depending on the artist. Sometimes skinny, sometimes tall, sometimes creepy, Sometimes wearing green, sometimes brown, sometimes straight up looking like a forest spirit who might curse your crops. Then comes the real twist, the one people hate admitting. Santa, as you know him today, was finalized by advertising. In the 1930s, Coca-Cola commissions artist Haddon Sundblom to create a Santa who feels warm, friendly, relatable. Red suit, white beard, big smile, soft eyes. A dude who looks like he'd let you sit on his lap and not traumatize you. That Santa slaps. People loved him so much that this version completely erased the others. Santa wasn't just a character anymore, he was a brand identity. And once Santa became a brand, Christmas fully crossed over. Kids were told Santa rewards good behavior. Parents were told love equals gifts. Companies were told December equals profit. Everyone bought in. Santa didn't just deliver presents, he delivered expectations. And here's the wildest part. People argue about whether Santa is real, but nobody questions the system built around him. The ads, the pressure, the spending, the madness. By the time Santa takes over Christmas, the holiday isn't just spiritual or cultural anymore, it's psychological. All right, so Santa is locked in. Red suit, big beard, corporate-approved vibes. The holiday is cozy, emotional, nostalgic, and that's exactly when things get dangerous. Because here's the truth nobody likes to say out loud. Christmas didn't get hijacked by corporations. It invited them in. Late 1800s to early 1900s, America goes full industrial mode. Factories everywhere. People working non-stop. Life is loud, fast, stressful. And Christmas? Christmas becomes the escape. The one time of year where people are told to slow down, feel something, and reconnect. And companies are watching like, oh, so this is when wallets open. Department stores start popping off Christmas displays, giant windows, lights, fake snow, music on loop. It's not decoration. It's psychological warfare. They're not selling products. They're selling feelings. Miss this sale? You're a bad parent. Cheap gift? You don't care enough. No gifts? That's cold. And boom. Guilt becomes a business model. Here's the twist. Gift-giving wasn't even central to Christmas historically. It was small, symbolic, often handmade. But now, it's competitive. Bigger, better, louder. Kids start comparing. Adults start stressing, credit cards start crying, and Santa? Oh, Santa becomes the ultimate closer. He's watching, he's judging, he's keeping score. Parents use him as leverage. Behave or Santa's not coming. Corporations use him as bait. Buy now or Christmas is ruined. The holiday turns into a month-long pressure cooker. By the mid-1900s, Christmas isn't just a day, it's a season. Radio, movies, ads, songs, everything screaming the same message, buy, 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 but make it feel magical. And people eat it up. Because here's the messed up genius of it all. Christmas marketing doesn't feel like marketing. It feels like tradition, like childhood, like home. You don't argue with it, you defend it. Try telling someone Christmas is over-commercialized and watch them get offended like you insulted their grandma. Now let's zoom out for a second. While malls are packed and trees are glowing, something else is happening quietly in the background. Not everyone is feeling the joy. Workers are exhausted, parents are broke, loneliness spikes, depression rates climb. For some people, Christmas isn't cozy. It's painful, a reminder of what they don't have, of people they've lost, of expectations they can't meet, and nobody wants to talk about that part, because it ruins the aesthetic. So Christmas becomes this weird contradiction, a holiday about love that causes stress, a celebration of generosity that drives debt, a season of togetherness that makes loneliness louder. And still, every year, we do it again. Because at this point, Christmas isn't just a holiday. It's a machine. So now Christmas isn't just an American thing. It's not even just a Christian thing anymore. At this point, Christmas is moving like a global empire, and nobody voted for it. Here's how it happened. Mid-20th century. America wins World War II and suddenly becomes the cultural main character. Movies, music, brands, ads, the whole world is consuming American vibes. And guess what comes bundled with that soft power package? Yep, Christmas. Hollywood pushes cozy Christmas movies. Radio blasts jingles. Coca-Cola ships Santa worldwide. Department store aesthetics become the default holiday look. Snow, fireplaces, sweaters, even in countries where it literally never snows. And the wild part? It works. Countries with totally different religions start celebrating Christmas, not as a holy day, but as a festival. Japan, Christmas is a date night. China, shopping season. Dubai, malls go full Christmas core. No theology required, just vibes and spending. Christmas becomes culture neutral, meaning everyone can join as long as they buy in. Here's the twist, though. When Christmas shows up, local traditions get pushed to the side. Indigenous winter festivals, faded, regional rituals, rebranded, old customs, commercialized or forgotten. Christmas doesn't ask permission. It just shows up louder, brighter, and richer than everything else. And people follow the energy. And corporations love this. Because now, instead of marketing to one country, they're marketing to the entire planet using the same symbols. Santa, trees, gifts, lights, love. It's efficient. It's scalable. It's unstoppable. By the late 1900s, Christmas becomes the single biggest economic event of the year worldwide. Trillions spent. Entire industries depend on December sales just to survive. Miss Christmas season? Your business might fold. And here's the crazy irony. The more global Christmas gets, the less anyone agrees on what it actually means. Ask 10 people what Christmas is about, and you'll get 10 different answers. Jesus, family, gifts, food, time off, loneliness, stress, magic, capitalism, nostalgia. Christmas becomes a mirror. Everyone projects their own stuff onto it. Now let's talk about the part nobody warns you about. When something becomes this big, this emotional, this profitable, it becomes untouchable. You can't criticize Christmas without sounding bitter. You can't opt out without feeling left out. You can't slow it down because the machine doesn't stop. And every year the season starts earlier. October, September, sometimes August. At this point, Christmas doesn't arrive. It creeps. And yet, people still love it. Because buried under the noise, the ads, the chaos, there's still something real. A desire for connection, for warmth, for meaning in the coldest part of the year. And that's why Christmas survives every critique. But here's the question we're heading toward now. If Christmas has been rewritten this many times, if it's been reshaped by power, money, culture, and psychology, then what happens when people finally start rewriting it again? So here we are, modern times. Christmas is everywhere, all the time, all at once, and for the first time in centuries, people are starting to say something wild out loud. Yeah, I'm kinda over it. Not hate, not rebellion, just exhaustion. Because modern Christmas isn't a day, it's a marathon. Weeks of planning, buying, wrapping, traveling, smiling, posting, spending, repeating. And if you mess it up, if the vibe isn't perfect, you feel like you failed the season, Social media made it worse. Now, Christmas isn't just about family, it's about aesthetics. Trees gotta be taller, lights brighter, gifts bigger, photos cleaner. Everybody's feed looks like a Hallmark movie while you're eating leftovers in sweatpants wondering what went wrong. And here's the twist. People aren't burned out because they don't love Christmas. They're burned out because they care too much. Parents feel pressure to create core memories. Couples feel pressure to be romantic. Singles feel pressure to feel happy. Everyone's chasing an ideal version of the holiday that barely exists in real life. And slowly, something shifts. People start opting out. Minimalist Christmas. No gift Christmas. Travel Christmas. Friends-only Christmas. Let's just eat and chill Christmas. Not because Christmas is bad, but because people want it back on their own terms. Even Santa takes a hit. Kids ask harder questions earlier. Parents stop lying sooner. The magic gets replaced with honesty. And guess what? For some families, it's actually better. Here's the part that'll mess with your head. This isn't the first time Christmas hit a breaking point. It happened when Puritans banned it. It happened when Dickens rewrote it. It happened when corporations swallowed it. Every time Christmas gets too extreme, society pulls it back, like a rubber band. And now, we're in another snapback moment. Mental health conversations get louder during the holidays. Loneliness gets acknowledged. People talk about grief instead of hiding it. Traditions get questioned instead of obeyed. Christmas stops being how it's supposed to be and starts becoming what actually works. And quietly, almost invisibly, Christmas starts to feel human again, less perfect, more real, more honest. But this raises the biggest twist of all. If Christmas keeps changing, if it keeps surviving bans, backlash, rewrites, and burnouts, then maybe Christmas was never about trees, or Santa, or gifts, or even religion. Maybe it's just a story humanity keeps retelling every winter, tweaking it to fit whatever we're struggling with at the time. After all the bans, rewrites, marketing takeovers, global domination, and modern burnout, you'd expect Christmas to collapse under its own weight. But it never does. It just adapts. That's the twist. Christmas survives because it's not a fixed thing. It's a container. Every era pours its fears, hopes, guilt, love, and chaos into it. In hard times, it becomes comfort. In greedy times, it becomes profit. In lonely times, it becomes nostalgia. In burned-out times, it becomes quiet rebellion. Same holiday, different meaning. And here's where it gets deep. Look back at history. Every system that forgets why it exists eventually eats itself. Empires fall, markets crash, traditions rot, not because they're evil, but because they drift too far from their purpose. Sound familiar? That's not just Christmas. That's the Roman Empire. Remember the first video? The one economic mistake that destroyed the Roman Empire? Rome didn't collapse because of one bad emperor or one invasion. It collapsed because money replaced meaning. Short-term gain beat long-term stability. The system stopped serving people and started feeding itself. Christmas almost did the same thing. Almost. It came dangerously close to becoming nothing but debt, pressure, and empty tradition. Another machine that runs until it breaks. Another empire of habits nobody questions anymore. But here's the difference. Rome couldn't rewrite itself fast enough. Christmas can. Every generation tweaks it. Every family reshapes it. Every person decides what it means to them. That's why Christmas didn't die when Puritans banned it. That's why it didn't die when corporations swallowed it. That's why it won't die in the burnout era. Because unlike empires, Christmas doesn't demand loyalty. It just shows up and asks, "What do you need right now?" For some, it's faith. For some, it's family. For some, it's rest. For some, it's just a good meal and one peaceful night. And yeah, for some, it's still chaos. That part's real too. But maybe the real magic of Christmas isn't Santa or gifts or trees. Maybe it's this. In the darkest part of the year, humans keep telling themselves a story about light returning, about generosity beating greed, about warmth surviving the cold, every single year. And here's the rehook, the one that flips everything. If a holiday can survive bans, greed, globalization, burnout, and modern cynicism, what else in history collapsed not because it was weak, but because it refused to change? That's the question tying this whole channel together. If you liked this story, smash like. Not for the algorithm, but so more people accidentally learn history the fun way. Subscribe if you want to keep exposing the fairy tales hiding inside textbooks. Drop a comment and tell me, what part of Christmas do you think is real? And what part feels fake? And share this with someone who thinks Christmas is just a holiday. Next video, we're going even deeper. The history of alchemists. The original scientists, scammers, philosophers, and mad geniuses who tried to turn lead into gold and accidentally laid the foundation for modern science. Trust me, that story, it's pure chaos. The market is about to open.